in the gambler system, what we're dealing with here. So he has if streak, then events change, and that's fine. And so if he wants to take a long run of data and he takes a look at or he doesn't take a look at the data. If he wants to talk to the casino about the last 1,000 spins they did, and he didn't see them, and he wants to bet on whether after a fourth consecutive red, there was then a black or not, he can make that bet. That would be a rational bet. To say, I'll bet you, casino, that if we look at if you're up to your 1,000 spins, and we pick out every time there are 4 consecutive reds, I bet the 5th one is black. He would win that bet. So the problem isn't about the independence thing. I mean, it is for the gambler's fallacy. He's thinking he's taking this particular case and saying, well, look, this past behavior means that this has to. Here we go. Take my mortgage or whatever. Take my. So it's an over application. Yeah, it's an abuse of a general tendency. General tendency is the 5th one would be different than the previous 4. Okay, very good. All right. So it's just, and we know that the brain is simple, and so anyway, all right. So basically, if streak, then events change. That it just straight up delivers. It doesn't get, and it shouldn't. If streak, then streak has no business rationally speaking, competing with if streak, then change. Not in this situation. However, we do tend to, see agency in everything around us. So I could imagine at a roulette table, an individual, or it can be a couple, but let's say an individual, that's a little bit more interesting. A single person, they have if streak, then events change, who's really hyping up his let's bet on black. Let's say it's been red. Let's bet on black behavior, and then if streak, and then also in his brain, in a system, there may be if streak, both of these being triggered by the fact that he's looking at a streak. If streak, then the streak has to continue. And so it probably is quite a common occurrence that I'd gamble that because the brain isn't integrated, both of these its can be slapped and compete with each other in a human brain, even though rationally they shouldn't. Because if streak, then events change should only be solicited by sort of mostly independent events, should only be slapped by a series of independent events. And if streak, then continue should be quiet. Whereas when the events are dependent,